Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference of CONMEBOL Copa America United States 2024. We are here with Fernando Batista, coach, and Nahuel Ferraresi, both from Venezuela's national team. Before we start the press conference, please remember that broadcasting is not allowed and neither is it permitted to record with your cell phone or any other type of device. You can download the press conferences with a QR code that is displayed on the room. If necessary, there is simultaneous interpreting into English, Spanish, and Portuguese through the QRs that are also displayed across the room. If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand, wait for the mic, state your name and your media outlets, and ask your question. We are ready to begin. Hello. Majo Javilanes from Football Channel. Professor Batista, how are you? What is your concept of this friendliest that Ecuador has had a little bit closer in time than what we have had in terms of what Venezuela has been doing? Because you have not had any friendly matches over this last period. So, what does Venezuela think of what Ecuador has been doing? First and foremost, good afternoon, everyone. We've seen all three matches that Ecuador has played. But regardless of those matches, we know them well, the same way they know us. And we know how they work, how they set their plan, the quality of their individual players, the quality of the team. And that has helped us prepare as good as we can for tomorrow's game, trying to anticipate what may happen, and regardless of any friendly matches, we know one another very well, and we're going to do our best to wage a good battle. Good afternoon, Professor Batista, Nahuel, Carlos Dominguez from Televen, Venezuela. So the day has come, Professor. Tomorrow is the long expected day. You decided not to do any friendly matches in order to spare the team and have it together. I wanted, I would like to know whether that time has been useful in consolidating the mindset and whether it has been helpful in terms of your decision to consolidate the team and convey your tactical idea. And Noel, your presence here leads us to say that you may be wearing the captain band tomorrow. We've shared a couple of teams with you, and we see that actually everyone is very calm looking at tomorrow's game. Well, that is true. That is true. We managed to organize 15 or 16 work sessions, and this is practically the number that we're looking at. And we decided, together with the group, not to do any friendly matches so that we could work with the whole team and adjust some technical issues, because it's always positive when the team is together to try to get to the matches as strong as a team as we can. I believe that we've done all the necessary work, but as a coach, there are always a couple of things that you think that you didn't pay enough attention to, but I guess we're going to find out when the match starts. And although we are thinking of tomorrow first, there are three matches coming our way, but I'm very much at ease, and I'm happy to have spent these 15 days training with all of our players so that we are as prepared as we can for tomorrow. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, about what you said about my being here today and the fact that I'm going to be a starter or not, we have not yet defined that. The whole team is working and training, thinking that they may be a starter, and I think that's very good because we know that everyone is prepared to play all the three matches in the group phase. We are at a very high level, and about what you're saying, the whole team is very happy, committed. We are working hard, and we are extremely eager to start off on our right foot and try to make our fans happy. Good afternoon, Professor Nahuel. Good afternoon to all other reporters and for all Cesar's TMT. Professor, there are high expectations across the country, both from a soccer standpoint and also from a sentimental standpoint. How do you think Venezuela is going to be looking at this national team in this first match? Can we expect everyone to be up to the task? No one is suffering any injury or anything. And for Nahuel Ferraresi, the country is eager to hear you say that you are very optimistic about this cup. Well, about the soccer players, everyone is in their best possible condition, and this is something that I'm very happy and extremely satisfied with. And of course, we share the illusions and the expectations of the whole Venezuelan people of playing a very good tournament, having a very good performance, so that we can continue along this journey. 2023 was a very good year in terms of the qualifiers, and I believe that this tournament is going to help us strengthen some ideas and minimize our errors, because we are focused on the America Cup, but we are also aware that something very important is coming our way, and that is the qualifiers. So, as I said, we have very high expectations, lots of dreams. We cannot wait for this tournament to start, and we truly hope we can make our whole country happy. As the prophet said, it's not only you that have high illusions. We have twice as much as illusions as you have. We've worked very hard, and we know that tomorrow is a great opportunity. We want to start on the right foot, but we know it's very hard. Ecuador is a very tough team, and we are going to be working from minute zero until the end of the match in order to get those 3 points. Hello, coach. Marco Lopez from Radio Di Blue, Ecuador. I wanted to ask you about how different do you think this match is going to be compared to the qualifiers? Because I remember that you used Sonosa and Kendrick Paez that will probably not be in the same position tomorrow. Do you think you are going to work through the outer lanes, or do you think it's going to be the same Ecuador as Maturi? Every match is a different match, regardless of the strategy that a coach chooses. And Maturin's match, well, Ecuador had a strategy because of where we were coming from. We had beaten Chile, and we had a couple of victories, but I don't think there's going to be such a huge change. We know one another, as I said, and we want to be prepared for whatever strategy Ecuador chooses to implement. And of course, we are going to try to plan out our own strategy in order to achieve our goals. But I believe it's going to be a different match. And in addition to that, it's the first game in the tournament for the both of us. We are anxious, we are nervous, and as the game develops, we're going to see how it turns out, but it's going to be different from Madrid. Good afternoon. A question for Canal Plus in France and Africa, and my question is about Salomon Rondon, and it is for the both of us. I would like to ask how important Salomon Rondon is in the history of Venezuela soccer, and what does he have to offer to the national team today? To us, he's a role model. I believe that he has made history because of everything he has achieved. The whole team sees him as a leader and as a captain, and he conveys a lot of ease to everyone. He makes us feel very comfortable. We have very young players today in our team playing the Copa America, and he has a lot of experience to share with everyone because of everything he has achieved over the last few years. I believe Nahuel managed to summarize what Salomon represents for the whole team because of his experience, his track record with the national team, and also his international experience. We're extremely happy to have him with us. He's coming from an excellent performance this semester. We hope he will continue along this path because he has truly earned it. He is a great professional, and we expect this will be a great experience. Just for the audience to understand a little bit better, can you name a couple of his accomplishments, something that comes to mind very easily, something that we can share with everyone? Intimate? No, nothing intimate. No, public, something of public record. He recently won the Conca Champ, and he's a great value to his team. Radio Caravana, imagination or imagination. Have you already asked? Okay, go ahead. Good afternoon, Coach Batista. You have started a very interesting journey in the World Cup classifiers, and now have along that way there's the America Cup. So, in terms of your victories, how do you see this tournament that is so short, particularly the three matches starting with a tough match with Ecuador? How do you see that? And Nahuel, greetings. 2017 Korea's World Cup finalists. You have already been gaining experience, and then you went to Portugal, after that to Brazil. You have been earning the trust of different coaches, and the coach here has deposited a lot of trust, but you've gone through a very different situation. Now you're there representing your teammates. What does this tournament represent to you today in terms of what you've lived? Good afternoon. As you said, it's been a very long time since that under 20 World Cup in 2017. Today, I have a whole new opportunity before me, and I believe it's a great challenge after the injury that I had to overcome. I believe that I'm currently in a very good moment right now. I'm very, very happy to share this team, and I'm proud to wear the national team's jersey. And we know we have a huge responsibility because we represent the dream of 30 million people in Venezuela. Yes, ESPN. No, um, I would like to add to that. In terms of the America Cup, I believe, and the coming classifiers, I believe that this is extremely important because there are a couple of players coming from the pre-Olympic tournaments. And in addition to everything we're building, this is a process, this is a journey. And our goal is to start giving this possibility to these young players that have this possibility of sharing the experience, such as Segovia, La Cava, Pereira, Aramburu. And this is extremely important to us because regardless of whether we get the results we want or not, we are embarked upon a journey. And I believe that this is going to go a long way in helping these young players start interacting with the rest of the teams because they may represent the future of our national team. ESPN over here. Do you remember that very hard, that very tough game in Maturin against Ecuador? What would you like to avoid or prevent to repeating? And to Nahuel, how do you think you should mark someone so dangerous as Ener Valencia? I believe that the game we played at Maturin was. There were no huge advantages. It was very even. If you think of that, I believe that the result at that time, the score was unfair. we didn't have so many chances, and it was one of those teams where if you make a mistake, you just lose. And this is what I try to convey to them: maintain your concentration, do not lose that, because I believe that in those six qualifiers, that is what has gotten them to the fourth place and has allowed us to remain competitive. So I want them to keep that mindset, that concentration, not only for tomorrow's match, but every match coming our way. uh, I apologize. Yeah, good afternoon. We know that Ecuador is a very strong national team, and about Ener, he's a very seasoned forward player, and he likes to attack diagonally, and he likes to exploit every single possibility, assist by the wingmans, and we need to avoid giving space to our backs so that he cannot gain those spaces. And as the coach was saying, we need to maintain our concentration, because we know that in this type of game, we need to keep our concentration at 100%, because every error costs dearly. Good afternoon, Emmanuel Gutierrez from MVP Sports. Coach, knowing that Ecuador is a very fast contender, when you chose your starters tomorrow, did you prioritize that? In addition to analyzing our contender, I do not dwell upon that. I do not try to choose my players only because our rival is going to choose their own players in a certain way. I try to analyze the strength of our opponents and where they can actually make things complicated for us. But I try to think of my own team, my own players, and how can I convey them with the necessary confidence so that they can actually deploy our plan in the field. And in terms of the strategy, we know that Ecuador is a very strong team, a very fast team with fast transitions, and we are going to try to have the best possible players on the field to counterattack that. Good afternoon. Ramon Medina from Nacional newspaper. Nahuel, coach, good afternoon. I wanted to ask you about this very short tournament, the Copa America. What is your first priority? To consolidate the team for the qualifiers, or probably to start having or trying out our players that could actually be good in this tournament? For us, every game is going to help us keep on growing as a team. We cannot choose. We don't get to choose. Today is the America Cup, and as from tomorrow, we are gonna keep on growing. We are gonna keep on getting stronger as a team and as a group. And as the tournament unfolds, we are going to see how it turns out, because sometimes you plan it out in a certain way, and the team you wanted or what you wanted from it start changing, and you need to adjust your strategy as well. But every match we play help us grow and continue growing as a team. Please, I would like to remind you not to stand up. Tony Carrasco from Lobovision. Coach, first things first. Tomorrow is said to be the toughest match in the group. I don't know how you see that, especially considering how both Venezuela and Ecuador are getting to the cup compared to Mexico and Jamaica. You seem to be in a better position, and it is true that tomorrow may be the toughest match. And for Nahuel, there are different combinations for the forwards. There may be Osorio, there may be Angel. Do you feel comfortable with either of them or with anyone in particular? So, to answer your question, Just as I said in my previous response, every player is in a very good level. We have Jordan, Wilker, they are excellent forwards, Makun as well. And this is not about being comfortable with one or the other. Everyone I played with has had perfect communication. We have been able to understand one another perfectly in the field. So the coach is the one to decide who's going to be the one to play this match because of the time and because how he sees us, and we're going to give our best. And the four or five of us that can actually take the first position, we know that we're working to do our best. It may be tough, also because it's the first match. I believe that it's a very even group, but we're thinking of tomorrow's. But we don't underestimate Mexico or Jamaica. But the first match is a challenge to every team because of the anxiety, because of being nervous, because we are just getting started, and that goes beyond the opponent or regardless of how tough they can be. The toughest is tomorrow's. And after tomorrow's, they are going to hear me say that the toughest is the one coming our way after tomorrow. But tomorrow is the first final that we need to play in this tournament. And that surfaces lots of issues regarding anxiety related to the first match. Coach, how are you doing, Jose Pineda for Sala Deporte? First of all, I would like to congratulate you because the team and you have raised illusions in our country that I have not seen for a very long time. And this is because of what the technical team and the whole team is conveying to the country. How do you see this national team with all the veterans, some with a very strong presence and some other with a very strong future? And Nahuel, how are you getting to this tournament? As a role model with a much more experience and now playing for Sao Paulo, where you undoubtedly need to play against first rate players. I see the same illusion that you all have. I see the same illusions that the people of Venezuela share. Why? Because we have very good players that are playing very well, that are playing are performing very well in their own teams, and we see these youth that are here ready to take the baton, and that speaks to what we're trying to do as the coaching team. We are not only working with the national team, but also with the under 21 national team. Every time we can, we want to seize these opportunities, and we have this possibility of having very seasoned players and many others that are emerging, that are just starting out their careers, and I believe that's part of our work as well. And as you said, I'm coming now with more experience than the previous America Cup because I played more games with the national team and also with my own club. And as you play more and more games, you gather experience that helps you overcome certain situations that used to be tougher in the past, and you see things clearer. But well, I'm happy about that, but I'm also eager about tomorrow. I'm anxious about tomorrow because I know that the whole country is looking at us, but I'm calm because we know that we're going to do our best. Good afternoon, Coach. Fernando Petrocelli for Ruta Vinotinto. Good afternoon, Nahuel. Coach, if you were to choose something that you would like to replicate from the past qualifiers, what game would you choose and why? And Nahuel, 8 months ago, you were going through an injury. You were sad. So, what was the role of the family and of the national team in this recovery you've had? I believe that the three qualifiers have been very positive. Probably the tie in Brazil, the match in Brazil was great because it's never easy to go to Brazil and come back with a good result. But I would like to underscore particularly the character of our players, and particularly after that game, because after that we had Chile. And when you get a good result in one of those games, then we obtain a very good result with Chile. So I believe that week was an excellent week. But we had other good weeks as well in our qualifiers. I even the one we lost to Colombia, because when you lose, you draw positive lessons. And we started seeing a new character on the part of our team to take on every new team. But I believe that Brazil and Chile was a very good week in the qualifiers. Yeah, as you said, 8 months ago we were talking, and I was undergoing an injury, and now I'm here, fully recovered, 100% ready to play. The support of the national team, this family, as you call it, has been critical, and I have to thank them because they were all keeping an eye on me at all times. They kept visiting me, emailing me, texting me, and that made me work twice as hard to be here today. So I'm happy that I can be here today. Hello, coach. Pablo Kin from Quito, Ecuador. I would like to ask you, after hearing my Venezuelan colleagues, the wine red is inviting the all fans to dream. But ever since you took over on day one, do you believe that you've accomplished all the goals that you set for yourself along this journey of qualifiers, the America Cup, and to Nahuel as well? Another question. If you think this is going to be an even match between Ecuador and Venezuela, I would like to know what can be the turning point, either to Venezuela or Ecuador, along the 90 minutes. Thanks in advance. Okay, we are going down that journey, and we know that we need to keep to be down to earth and to remain humble, because the goals that we set ourselves have not yet been attained. If we're talking about the qualifiers, we're 30-40% along the path, and we have had a good performance so far, and we don't want to lose everything we've done. But I want everyone to keep being humble, to keep being down to earth. We cannot underestimate ourselves, and we can actually take on any other team, because I trust my team. I believe that we are doing well, but there's still a lot of work to be done. As you said, it's going to be um, an even match, so we need to maintain our concentration. 90 minutes, 95 minutes, however long we need to play, they can hurt us in different ways, and we've been working, analyzing their strategies for that. So we need to maintain our concentration, and we truly hope that we're going to be able to get those 3 points and get our first victory. Over here with the lady. Good afternoon. Gerardo Marquez, La Nación newspaper. Professor, I wanted to ask you, when you look at this team, man by man, this is an excellent team. But it took 20 years to build this team. And everyone is coming from the under 21. And this is the mechanism that we found in order to try to close that gap with other soccer superpowers in South America. So, do we have any hope of continuing to get soccer players out of these teams? Because this team that you are coaching today, every one of them has played for our under 20. Well, I believe that our youth is the basis not only of the national team but of every team. So the more you work with them, the more you work with the bases, the easier it's going to be to bridge that gap. and only time will tell after this. We're going to keep on analyzing. But I am a coach that has worked intensively with youth teams, and I believe that that is the key to keep on feeding this project by training not only these kids that are starting to play when they are 10 or 12. We need to train them both as soccer players but also as individuals, as persons. And I think that we as coaches play a key role. We've been having a lot of conversations with every club, because if we want soccer players such as Nahuel and others that are today part of the national team, the key is on the basis, on the beginnings of these players, and we are working with every club so that we can keep on improving. I know it's a very long process. This does not happen overnight, but we in the coaching, in the technical team, we've worked very hard to train our players as best as we can. Thank you very much. And this is Mora for Radioactiva. In terms of human sites, there are dozens of thousands of Venezuelans in California and even more in the United States. You've come here, and when you go out to the field, you find the connection. And we've seen that throughout the Copa America and the qualifiers. Many Venezuelans start crying when they hear the national anthem. Does that make the game more special? And Fernando, for you, uh, Checho 2011 with the American Cup, and now you in 2024, two members of the same family, coaching such important teams. How do you feel about that? About your question, I believe that we feel that human touch of every Venezuelan supporting us. We've seen it every time we are playing as visitors in Peru, in Brazil, in Chile, in Argentina, and I hope this will be no exception. I hope that when we go out to the field tomorrow, I want to see lots of Venezuelan flags so that we can feel that support. Although we know that from our country, everyone is going to have their TV turned on looking at us, but we're extremely happy and moved to have that support. And in terms of that, well, it's nice, isn't it? I mean, it's something intimate, it's something familiar, having this possibility of having coached. And we've even competed. I competed in the pre Olympic tournament in Tokyo. Well, and we have our own internal family competition with that. So we are soccer fans, all of our family, and Techo is working with us nowadays, and his experience, not only as a coach but also as a champion, as a world champion, is extremely valuable. The conversations he has with the team players is extremely nice to be able to share that tournament after tournament. Over here, please. Alejandro Villegas from Sports Venezuela to Nahuel. You were already talking about the under 20 World Cup where you get to the finals and everything you lived over the last few months. But I want to take you to Brazil 2021 and the context that the national team had to go through and what it meant for a group, how the national team got there and today. And personally, how do you think Nahuel Ferraresi has grown comparing the you are today against that you played in Brazil? Well, totally different in terms of the preparation and in terms of timing. When we got there, we actually had suffered 12 casualties because some of them stayed in Venezuela, some others caught COVID in Brazil, and it was very tough for us because we had very high illusions. But today is completely different, and we are doing great today. And as I said, we have very high illusions. And as far as I'm concerned, personally, I have far more experience because of all the matches that I played and because of how you get to know how these games play out. So, as I said, I'm hopeful. I'm happy to be part of this America Cup once again. And I hope I'm going to be able to enjoy it end to end because back then I was left out. Last question, please. Thank you, coach. It's a pleasure. Radio Cache FM from Guayaquil, Ecuador. Coach, of course, you've created a bunker for your preparation. So, what are going to find in terms of the work you've done? What must we fear from Venezuela and from Ecuador? Because we know that we're even forces. For Nahuel, do you see yourself playing the 6 matches with Venezuela, dreaming big? Well, it hasn't been a bunker. It's been a whole preparation of what we had to do in terms of getting here in the best possible form. And after that, I just would like to reiterate what I said earlier. We need to keep on being protagonists. We need to keep on being that team with a very strong game to hurt our opponents and not to lose what has dragged us along this good path and to keep on being concentrated. We know what Ecuador means as a team and the quality of their individual players. And we know that we want to minimize our errors because every team makes errors. And we want to be ready with every one of our weapons so that we can actually defend ourselves as well. So what soccer player does not want to play the 6 matches? But I'm starting with tomorrow. I see myself doing things right tomorrow, trying to win this match, and it's step by step. You can imagine yourself, you can picture yourself in the finals, but you need to go step by step, and tomorrow's match is extremely important. So, if we can start on our right foot, that'd be critical because with these short tournaments, it's a great advantage to win the first match, and it will bring a lot of calm to the team. So, God willing, we're going to be able to win tomorrow. Thank you very much, Fernando.